Hello, folks. I wanted to talk today about something I don't think a lot of professing Christians have ever put a whole lot of thought into, and that is a prophecy in the book of 2 Thessalonians 2. And I'm going to read starting from verse 9. And it says, "Even him whose coming is after the working of Satan, with all power and signs and lying wonders, and with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish." Now I want you to pay close attention to that phrase. Remember this phrase, "and with all deceivableness of unrighteousness." Deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish. And why do they perish? It says, "because they received not the love of the truth, that they might be saved." They did not have a love of the truth that they might be saved, and because they were deceived by the deceivableness of unrighteousness. And it goes on to say in verse 11, "And for this cause God himself shall send them strong delusion, so that they should believe a lie, that they all might be damned, who believed not the truth, but had pleasure in unrighteousness." God shall send them strong to delusion, so that they will believe a lie, that they all might be damned, who believed not the truth, but had pleasure in unrighteousness, the deceivableness of unrighteousness. It says that they did not have a love of the truth about salvation. They were deceived by the deceivableness of unrighteousness. And it says because of this, God himself sends these people who did not have a love of the truth and were deceived by the deceivableness of unrighteousness. He sends them strong delusion, the deceivableness of that they did not receive the love of the truth that they might be saved. They did not receive the love of the truth about salvation. And what is that lie? That lie, folks, that lie is the original lie of Satan. It has never changed. The original ancient lie of the Satan, which says, "Ye will not surely die." It says that you can continue in sin and that you will not perish, that ye will not surely die. It says that the deceivableness of unrighteousness. So, for example, once saved, always saved, eternal security, original sin, inherited sin nature, any of these doctrines that lead you to believe that Jesus Christ saves in sin and not from sin, that lead you to believe that only God could overcome sin. So he came as a man and did it for you as a hypostatic dual nature God-man that came down through space, through the womb of the Virgin Mary, and bypassed some sort of inherited sin that we can't overcome. So he did it for us. See, Satan wants you to believe this lie because he wants you to perish. He wants you to believe that you cannot walk as Jesus walked, that you cannot take up your cross, that you cannot follow Christ, that you cannot follow his human example, that only God could do this. So, and this is the God that people have in their hearts, so many Christians have in their hearts, the man of sin, the man of lawlessness who sits in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. And that temple, folks, is us. The Apostle Paul said, "We are the temple of the living God." The man of sin has set himself up in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God, the deceivableness of unrighteousness. And because they did not receive the love of the truth about salvation, God himself sends them strong delusion so that they will believe a lie. Lies like the Trinity, that Jesus is God. Lies like oneness, that Jesus is God. That only God could overcome sin, that we can't do it. That we were born sinful. That we're once saved, always saved. That we have its eternal security. It's faith alone, and there's nothing required of us. Faith, faith without faithfulness. Any of these doctrines, this is the deceivableness of unrighteousness that is spewed from pews all across the world. This is the deceivableness of unrighteousness. And Satan sends his ministers. It says Satan appears as an angel of lights, and that his ministers appear as ministers of righteousness. Ministers of righteousness. The deceivableness of unrighteousness. So, if you have constructed this lie in your heart, then you have effectively seated Satan, who desires to be God. To be God. He says, I will exalt my throne above the throne. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. I will be like the Most High. Satan has deceived through the deceivableness of unrighteousness. He has seated himself in the hearts of those who do not have a love of the truth. The man of sin sits in the temple of God. That temple of God being us. We are the temple of God. I'm going to read this one more time. Even him who is coming after the working of Satan with all power and signs and lying wonders, and with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth, that they might be saved. And for this cause God himself shall send them strong delusion, that they should believe a lie, that they all might be damned, who believed not the truth, but had pleasure in unrighteousness. Those who believed the devil's lie, that ye will not surely. They did not believe Jesus Christ when he said, go and sin no more, because we didn't believe. We took pleasure in unrighteousness. We were deceived by the deceivableness of unrighteousness. And when God himself sends you strong delusion, when he turns you over to a lie, folks, because you did not have a love of the truth to be saved, then when God sends you strong delusion, it's game over. It's game over, folks. It's all over if you do not have a love of the truth. And that's all it takes, is a genuine love of the truth, an uncompromising love of the truth, no matter what the cost. Believe Jesus. You can walk as Jesus walked. You can be righteous even as he is righteous, as it says in 1 John 3:7. Let no man deceive you. He that doeth righteousness is righteous, even as Christ is righteous, even as he, Christ, is righteous. Do not fall for the devil's lie that ye will not surely die, because if you do, God has turned you over to strong delusion, and game over. All right, that's all, folks. God bless you all. All right, have a nice day. We'll talk to you next time. Take care.